The valley was quiet in a way that felt wrong. Ash covered the ground like gray snow, soft but heavy as if the land itself was tired. The sky above the valley never fully brightened. Light from the distant star came through thick clouds, weak and pale. Nothing moved except the wind, and even the wind sounded careful, as if it did not want to wake something that should stay asleep. A lone human walked slowly across the valley. His name was Aaron Hale. He wore a faded suit patched many times, each repair done by hand. His boots left clear marks in the ash, the only signs that anyone had passed through this place in many years. On his back was a small pack, light but important. Inside were tools, water, and old things he could not throw away. He stopped near a broken metal wall rising from the ground. It was not natural stone. It was the remains of a structure, half buried, bent and dark from age. Once this place had been loud. Once, lights had filled the valley, and voices had echoed between the walls. Now it was only ash. Aaron knelt and placed his hand against the metal. It was cold even after the long day. He closed his eyes for a moment, listening. He did this often, as if the ruins might speak back if he waited long enough. Behind a cluster of burned rocks, something small shifted. Two bright eyes watched him. The creature stayed very still. Her body was small, covered in soft scales the color of warm sand. Her wings were folded tight against her sides, still new and fragile. She had been watching the human for days, hiding, following from a distance, learning his patterns. She was a dragon baby. She did not understand why this place scared her. Dragons were not meant to fear empty land. But this valley felt heavy like a story that ended badly. Still, the human kept returning here again and again as if the ruins were calling him. That made her curious. Aaron stood and removed a small tool from his pack. He adjusted a cracked power panel fixed to a metal pole. The panel flickered once, then glowed softly. A weak light spread across the ash, pushing back the shadows just a little. Aaron smiled, tired but satisfied. "It still works," he said quietly, mostly to himself. The dragon baby tilted her head. His voice was calm, not sharp like the voices she remembered from the sky. Not loud like the engines that once crossed above the valley. She stepped forward without meaning to. Ash shifted under her small claws. Aaron froze. His hand moved slowly toward his side, not to a weapon but to a scanner. He did not turn right away. He had learned that sudden moves scared most creatures. This planet had taught him patience. "I know you're there," he said gently. The dragon baby swallowed. She had never spoken to a human before. She had heard stories, old ones whispered during long flights. Humans were fragile. Humans were strange. Humans did not belong on worlds like this. Still, she took another step forward. Aaron turned. For a moment, both of them stared. Aaron's breath caught just slightly. He had seen dragons before, high in the sky, far away. Never this close. Never this small. "You're alone?" he said, surprised. The dragon baby lifted her head. Her voice was soft, unsure, but clear. "Why are you all alone?" she asked. The question fell into the air and stayed there. Aaron did not answer. The dragon baby watched his face change. His eyes, once focused and sharp, softened. His shoulders lowered a little, as if he had been carrying something heavy for too long. "I live here," he finally said. "That is not what I asked," the dragon baby replied. She did not mean to sound serious, but she did. "Why are you alone?" The wind moved through the valley again. Ash drifted across the ground, brushing against Aaron's boots and the dragon baby's claws. Aaron looked around. At the ruins. At the broken towers in the distance. At the empty sky. "Because everyone else left," he said. The dragon baby blinked. "Then why didn't you?" Aaron sat down on a piece of fallen metal. It creaked under his weight but held. He rested his hands on his knees and stared at the ash. "Someone had to stay," he said. "Why?" she asked. "So this place wouldn't be forgotten." The dragon baby felt something strange tighten in her chest. Dragons remembered worlds through stories and songs. Humans, she was learning, remembered by staying. She folded her wings tighter. "My kind flew away," she said quietly. "They said this world was empty." Aaron looked at her then. Really looked at her. At her small size. At the way her wings trembled just a little. "They were wrong," he said. "Empty doesn't mean nothing happened here." The dragon baby glanced at the ruins again. "Does it hurt?" she asked. "What?" "To stay." Aaron was silent for a long time. "Yes," he said at last. "But leaving would hurt more." The dragon baby lowered her head. Her wings drooped, heavy with a feeling she did not have a name for yet. The valley remained quiet. But for the first time in many years it was not empty. Morning came slowly to the Ash Valley. The light was weak but enough to show movement. Aaron Hale was awake before the sky changed color. He always was. Old habits stayed even when there was no one left to notice them. He checked the small fire he had built inside a metal shell. It was still warm. He added a little fuel and waited. Across the fire the dragon baby slept. She was curled into herself, tail wrapped around her body, wings folded close like a blanket. Soft heat came from her scales, steady and calm. Aaron watched her for a moment, surprised at how normal it felt to not be alone. When she woke, her eyes opened wide at once. Dragons did not drift between sleep and waking. She sat up and looked at him as if the night had not passed at all. "You stayed," she said. "I told you I live here," Aaron replied. She studied his face again. "You did not answer everything." Aaron nodded. He poured water into a small metal cup and set it near the fire. He did not rush. This question had weight and he knew it would not leave him alone. "You want to know why I stayed when others left," he said. "Yes," the dragon baby said. "You look like someone who had many people." Aaron let out a short breath. "I did." He leaned back against the broken wall behind him. His eyes stayed on the valley, not on the dragon baby. "This place was a human outpost," he said. "A small one. Families, workers, explorers. We were not soldiers. We were builders." The dragon baby listened without moving. "We built towers to study the land. We made homes. We planted food. We thought we would stay a long time." "What happened?" she asked. "A war far away," Aaron said. "Not here. Not even close. But when the lines moved, support stopped. Ships stopped coming. Messages became shorter. Then they stopped too." He picked up a small piece of metal from the ground and rolled it between his fingers. "They sent one last ship," he continued. "It was not big. It was not enough. It was just enough to take people away." The dragon baby felt her wings tighten. "Did you go?" Aaron shook his head. "I helped others board," he said. "Children first. Then the sick. Then anyone who was afraid. That was most of them." "And you?" she asked. "I was asked to leave too," he said. "But someone needed to shut things down. Someone needed to make sure nothing dangerous stayed active." "That could have been anyone," she said. Aaron smiled, but it did not reach his eyes. "That is what everyone said." He stared at the distant ruins, now dark shapes against the ash. "When the ship left," he said, "the valley became very quiet. Just like this." The dragon baby looked around. She could imagine it now. The sudden emptiness. The sky swallowing sound. "You could have left later," she said. "Another ship." "There was no later," Aaron replied. "The war moved on. The maps changed. This place stopped being important." The dragon baby lowered her head. "My kind left worlds too," she said. "When they stopped giving warmth." Aaron looked at her. "Did you want to leave?" She hesitated. "I wanted to stay with them." He nodded slowly. "So did I." The fire cracked softly between them. "I stayed at first because it was my job," Aaron said. "I told myself that." "But later?" she asked. "Later," he said, "I stayed because leaving felt wrong." He reached into his pack and pulled out a thin object wrapped in cloth. He unfolded it carefully. It was a small picture, old and worn. Faces stared back from the surface. Humans standing together, smiling in front of a clean metal wall. The dragon baby leaned closer. "That was us," Aaron said. "Before." She looked at the faces. "They look happy." "They were," he said. "Because they believed they were building something that would last." "Did it?" she asked. Aaron folded the cloth again. "Not in metal. Not in stone." "Then why stay?" she asked again, softer now. "Because places remember," Aaron said. "Even if no one else does. And someone should be there to remember with them." The dragon baby felt her chest ache. She did not understand humans fully, but she understood guarding something fragile. "My elders say memory is carried in flight," she said. "If no one flies over a place, it fades." Aaron nodded. "Humans walk instead." Silence settled between them, but it was not empty. The dragon baby unfolded her wings a little. They drooped, not from weakness but from understanding. "You are alone," she said, "but not because you were left behind." Aaron looked surprised. "You stayed behind," she continued. "On purpose." "Yes," he said. She lowered her wings fully now. "That is a heavy choice." "It is," Aaron agreed. The valley wind passed again, softer this time. Ash lifted and fell, but neither of them moved. For the first time since the last ship left, Aaron felt that his truth had been heard. And for the first time in her young life, the dragon baby understood that staying could be braver than flying away. The days that followed were different from the days before. The Ash Valley was still quiet and the sky was still pale, but something had changed. Aaron Hale was no longer the only one moving through the gray land. Small claw marks appeared beside his boot prints. Light wing shadows crossed the ground when the sun grew a little stronger. The dragon baby stayed. At first she kept a short distance. She followed him from rock to ruin, watching how he worked. Aaron did not try to stop her. He spoke softly while he repaired old machines or checked broken sensors, as if she had always been there. "This panel still sends a signal," he said one day, brushing ash away from a console. "No one listens anymore, but it speaks." The dragon baby tilted her head. "Why speak if no one hears?" Aaron smiled. "Because silence should not win." She thought about that while she watched the light blink. Later, when the sun dipped low, Aaron showed her how to find clean water beneath the ash. He used a simple tool and patience. The dragon baby tried with her claws and failed twice before succeeding. She lifted her head proudly. "I did it." "You did," Aaron said. "You learn fast." Her wings lifted slightly at his words. At night the cold returned. Aaron built a small shelter from metal sheets and fabric. The dragon baby added warmth without being asked. She curled near the wall, careful not to burn anything. Aaron noticed but said nothing. Some help did not need thanks. As time passed, she began to ask fewer questions and watch more closely. She saw how Aaron paused before entering certain ruins. How he touched walls like they were alive. How he fixed things that would never be used again. One evening, as ash drifted down like slow snow, she finally spoke. "You protect this place," she said. Aaron nodded. "Yes. But it cannot protect you back," she said. "No," he agreed. She folded her wings tighter. "Then why do you give it so much?" Aaron looked at her, then looked away. "Because once, it gave us everything." The dragon baby felt something settle inside her. A quiet understanding, heavy but clear. The next day she brought him something. It was small and round, dark with a soft shine. She placed it carefully near his pack. "What is it?" Aaron asked. "A heat stone," she said. "It stays warm even when the night is cold." Aaron picked it up gently. "You need this more than I do." She shook her head. "You stay still at night." "I do not." Aaron closed his fingers around the stone. He did not argue. High above the valley, shapes moved. Other creatures had begun to notice. A pair of long-winged scouts circled far from the ground. They were not dragons but old allies of dragonkind. Their eyes were sharp. They watched the human and the dragon baby walk together through the ruins. "Why does the hatchling stay?" one asked through a quiet signal. "I do not know," the other replied. "But the human does not fear her." That alone was strange. On the ground, the dragon baby sensed something watching. She lifted her head and scanned the sky. Her wings twitched, ready. "They are not coming down," Aaron said calmly. "They are just looking." "Looking can lead to other things," she replied. "Yes," he said. "But hiding forever is not living." She looked at him with new eyes. That night she spoke of herself. "My kind migrates," she said. "We move when worlds grow quiet or cold. Staying is rare. Do you want to follow them?" Aaron asked. She was silent for a long time. "I thought I did," she said. "But they did not notice I was missing until later." Aaron felt a familiar ache but did not interrupt. "I stayed because I was small," she continued. "But now I stay because I want to understand." "Understand what?" he asked. "Why you are not broken," she said. "Even though you lost everything." Aaron looked into the fire. "I am broken," he said softly. "Just not in ways you can see." She stepped closer. "Broken things can still guard," she said. "That is what you do." The words were simple but they landed deep. The valley wind moved again, lifting ash around them. For a moment, Aaron imagined the old sounds returning. Laughter. Machines. Voices calling his name. They faded but they did not hurt as much anymore. The next morning, a signal light flashed in the distance. Aaron noticed it at once. "Someone is close," he said. The dragon baby spread her wings halfway, nervous but steady. "Will they take me?" "No," Aaron said. "Not if you do not want to go." She looked at him. "Will they take you?" Aaron smiled, slow and calm. "They will try." She stepped in front of him without thinking. Aaron gently placed a hand on her side. "It is all right," he said. "Understanding spreads faster than fear." The dragon baby lowered her wings slightly but stayed where she was. Above them, watchers hovered, uncertain. Below them, A human and a dragon baby stood together in ash and silence. And in that quiet place, small wings carried a big understanding, one that would not stay hidden for long. The visitors did not arrive with noise or fire. They came slowly, carefully, as if the ash valley might break if touched too hard. Small ships hovered at a distance, smooth and quiet. Lights scanned the ruins, the ground, the air. They stopped when they saw the human and the dragon baby standing together. Aaron Hale did not move. He stood with his hands open, relaxed, showing he carried no threat. The dragon baby stood beside him, wings half open, not in attack, not in fear. Just ready. The first to land were not soldiers. They were observers. Tall figures stepped onto the ash, their feet barely touching the ground. Their skin shimmered like glass under the pale light. Behind them came others, beings of different shapes and sizes, each wearing marks of their people. They had come to see the story for themselves. "This is the human," one of them said quietly. "The one who stayed." Aaron heard them. He did not answer. They walked closer, eyes moving over the ruins, the old towers, the broken machines still faintly alive. Confusion showed on their faces. "This world was listed as empty," another said. "It is not empty," the dragon baby replied. All eyes turned to her. "She chose to stay with him," one observer said, surprised. "A dragon hatchling." "She chose," Aaron said calmly. "No one forced her." The observers exchanged looks. Choice mattered to them. It mattered more than power. One of the taller beings stepped forward. "Human," they said, "you were offered evacuation." "Yes," Aaron replied. "You were given a chance to leave." "Yes." "Yet you stayed on a dead world." Aaron looked around the valley. "It is not dead," he said. "It remembers." The observers followed his gaze. They saw what they had missed before. Not life as movement, but life as meaning. The care and the repairs. The signals still blinking. The shelter still standing. "You maintain systems no one uses," one said. "I maintain proof," Aaron answered. "That we were here. That we mattered." Silence followed. The dragon baby stepped forward, her voice steady. He did not stay because he was ordered. He stayed because leaving would erase more than buildings. A low hum passed through the group. Information moved fast among them. "This is not how humans are described," one said. "How are we described?" Aaron asked. "Loud," another replied. "Fast. Always reaching for more." Aaron nodded. "Sometimes that is true. But not here," the dragon baby said. "Here he guards memory." One of the observers knelt and touched the ash. "This place should have been stripped," they said. "But it was not." "No," Aaron said. "Because someone lived here." The dragon baby lifted her head. "Many someones." More ships appeared in the sky, keeping distance. Symbols flashed across hulls. Messages spread outward, beyond the valley, beyond the system. A human stayed behind. A dragon hatchling chose him. A dead world was not dead. The galaxy listened. An official stepped forward, marked by lines of authority. "Human Aaron Hale," they said. "You are requested to leave this world. You will be given shelter, supplies, honor." Aaron did not answer at once. The dragon baby looked up at him. "You do not have to go," she said. "But you can." Aaron took a slow breath. "If I leave," he said, "who stays?" The official paused. "This world can be recorded." "Recorded is not remembered," Aaron replied. "Memory needs presence." The dragon baby spread her wings fully now. Not to threaten. To be seen. "I will remember," she said. "And I will return." The observers reacted at once. A dragon promising return carried weight. One of them bowed slightly. "Then this place will be marked," they said. "Protected." Aaron felt something loosen in his chest. Not relief. Something deeper. "What about you?" the official asked. "Will you still stay alone?" Aaron looked at the dragon baby. Then at the gathered beings. "I was alone," he said. "Not anymore." The observers studied him with new eyes. Not as a survivor. Not as a remnant. But as a keeper. High above, the ships shifted position. The message spread faster now. Humans do not only conquer. Humans do not only flee. Sometimes humans stay. News reached distant systems. Councils paused. Old assumptions cracked. If one human could stand against forgetting, what could many do? The dragon baby stepped closer to Aaron. Her wing brushed his arm, gentle and warm. "They see you now," she said quietly. Aaron nodded. "I hope they see why." The Ash Valley remained quiet, but it was no longer unseen. Across the galaxy, stories changed. And for the first time in a long time, humans were not watched for what they might take, but for what they refused to abandon. The Ash Valley did not change all at once. There were no loud celebrations, no sudden cities rising from the ground. The ruins stayed broken. The sky stayed pale. But the silence felt different now. It was no longer forgotten silence. It was watched silence. Markers were placed around the valley. Small, quiet devices that spoke to passing ships. They did not warn. They remembered. Aaron Hale continued his work. He still repaired old systems. He still cleaned ash from panels that barely glowed. But now he did not work only for the past. He worked for those who might come. The dragon baby left for a time. Her kind arrived in great shapes across the sky, wings wide, shadows long. They circled the valley but did not land at first. They watched the humans standing beside their youngest. She spoke to them in clear, strong words. She told them why she stayed. She told them what the human had guarded. The dragons listened. When they finally landed, the ground did not shake with threat. It shook with respect. They did not force the dragon baby to leave. They did not command her. They only promised that the valley would not be harmed. She flew with them for a while after that. Aaron watched her rise into the sky, smaller and smaller until she was only a moving light. The old ache returned, but it did not cut as deep. He knew now that leaving did not always mean loss. Days passed. Then weeks. The first human ship arrived quietly. It did not land near the ruins. It waited at a distance as if asking permission. When Aaron approached, the ramp lowered slowly. 2 humans stepped out. They wore clean suits, new designs. Their eyes widened when they saw him. "You stayed," one of them said, voice tight. "Yes," Aaron replied. "We thought," the other began then stopped. Aaron smiled gently. "I know." They walked the valley with him. They listened. They touched the walls. They stood in silence where families once lived. "We will tell them," one said. "All of them." Aaron nodded. "Tell them the truth." More ships came after that. Not many. Not fast. But steady. Some humans stayed for a while and left again. Some stayed longer. They repaired small things. They planted markers. They added names. The dragon baby returned between flights. Each time her wings were stronger. Each time she stayed a little longer. She brought stories from the sky. Worlds where humans were spoken of differently now. Worlds where staying was no longer seen as weakness. One evening, she sat beside Aaron as the sun faded. "You are not alone anymore," she said. Aaron looked around. At the small lights in the distance. At the soft hum of a ship powering down. At the heat stone still warm in his hand. "No," he said. "But I never truly was." She tilted her head. "How?" "Because even when no one else was here," he said, "I was standing with those who came before me." She folded her wings, understanding. The valley wind moved again, but it did not feel cold. Time passed. The ash thinned where people walked often. Paths formed. Quiet, careful paths. No one tried to erase the past. They built around it instead. One day the dragon baby asked a question. "Will you ever leave?" Aaron thought about it. "Maybe," he said. "When I know someone else is ready to stand here." She nodded. "Then you will not be running." "No," he said. "I will be trusting." She smiled, a small dragon smile, bright and proud. High above, the galaxy continued to move. Wars rose and ended. Empires shifted. But one story stayed simple. A human stayed when leaving was easy. A dragon asked a question no one else did. And the answer changed how the stars looked at humanity. Aaron stood at the edge of the Ash Valley as night settled in. Lights blinked. Wings passed overhead. Footsteps echoed softly behind him. He was not surrounded. He was connected. And that was why humans were never truly alone.